Hello friends, this is Karma with Lewis Acre Farm. This is take 3 of the intro for this video. I had it recorded and I waited a while and watched it again and I didn't like it, so we're going to try it again. I'm here to talk to you a little bit and ask you the question, who are you trying to please? Who do you do your good works for? Are you trying to please mankind? Are you trying to get the accolades of your family, your friends, your boss, your neighbors? Or are you doing the things that you do to please your Father in heaven? Whose opinion matters to you? I personally try to do everything that I do to please God first and foremost. Is it nice to get the praise of your friends and your family, your subscribers? Absolutely. Who doesn't like a nice pat on the back? It builds up your self-esteem. It makes you feel good. But that's not why I do what I do. It is not why I make my videos. It is not why I help people who are struggling. It's not why I rescue kittens and other cats. It is not why I give food to people that are struggling, even though I myself struggle. I do it out of the kindness of my heart because I know that that's what my Father in heaven would have me do. And I know that there are times when we entertain angels unawares. I know that I've encountered angels on earth on at least 2 different occasions. And I also know that in the Bible it talks about doing everything as unto the Lord. And I want to be sure that when I get to heaven, the Lord knows that my heart was to please Him, and that when I gave water to a worker that was out here in our yard sweating and working so hard in the heat, that I was doing it as if I was giving water to my Lord. That when I saved a kitten's life, I did it as if I was saving my Lord's life. I don't ever want the Lord to be displeased with me and accuse me of being selfish and stingy and turning my back on Him. And so that's the discussion that we are going to have today. So hang around, stick with me, and I know it's going to be kind of bouncing around a little bit, but please bear with me and follow along with the story that I have to share with you today. It does kind of go a little bit on a roller coaster, but there is a point to the tale, and I do hope that you stick with me to the end and hear my heart and understand where I'm coming from. And maybe you too can answer the question, who are you seeking the praises of in the things that you do? Good afternoon, friends. I am Karma with Lewis Acre Farm, and I'm here today with your Thought for Thursday. I'm here to talk to you today about what many of us may know as the Golden Rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. It applies to every area of our life. And it applies not only to our fellow human beings, but it also applies to every living being. And I wanted to share with you an experience that my son and I had this past week and how it applies to everything that we do and every living animal and plant and every being. I am not PETA. I am not an animal rights activist. I am not vegetarian. I simply care about life. And I believe that God would have us care about every living being. And so please don't take this as a political or lobbyist type rant, because that's not what it's intended to be. It's much deeper. So I was blessed with a very, very tender heart. Some people may not see that as a blessing, and I myself have struggled with it throughout my life. I cry when I'm sad. I cry when I'm angry. I cry when I'm happy. I cry easily. It doesn't take much to make me cry. I cry when I get frustrated. And I cannot stop the tears, which makes me more frustrated, which makes me cry harder. And it's frustrating. It is so frustrating to me that I cannot control it. But as I get older, I'm learning to embrace that side of myself, because God gave me these tears. God gave me my tender heart. And there's nothing wrong with a tender heart, and there's nothing wrong with the tears. They're a gift from God. And I'm blessed. And sometimes they get in the way. But I would rather my tears get in the way temporarily than to be hard-hearted. A hard heart pumps no blood. A hard heart pumps no oxygen. And without oxygen, we can't breathe. Without oxygen, we can't live. I would rather have oxygen and breathe and be able to see the beauty around me than to be hard-hearted. I say all of this to help you understand a little bit more about me. I adore cats. Cats are the most amazing pets. And I have some adorable little kittens that have been born and raised under my house. Their mama has left them. They've been weaned now. And they are staying here, and I'm working at taming them so that I can eventually find a new home for them. So I had to record this in 2 parts. I ended up having a phone call come in, and I had to leave. And so this is day 2 of recording this video. But what I was telling you was that these kittens showed up, and I have been feeding them. It started out them and their mom was here, and now it's just the 4 kittens. But after the mom left, there's been other stray cats that have shown up, and I can't turn them away. It's not their fault that they're strays. It's irresponsible pet owners. And it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart to see irresponsible pet owners. One in particular, and this is why I told you about my tears. There was a little girl, probably about 3 years old, named Claudia. I named her Claudia. Beautiful, beautiful, sweet, sweet kitty. just showed up at my doorstep one day. So skinny. Oh, she was so skinny. You could tell she hadn't eaten in a really long time. She was not a feral cat. The very first day, she walked right up to me for love. She was somebody's baby. But she had a bad eye. She had obviously been traumatized. I knew this cat had been an indoor cat at some point, because one day she tried to come in my house, and I couldn't let her in, because I have 6 cats of my own, and I didn't have anywhere to put her. My son has disabilities, and he needed an emotional support animal. He fell in love with Claudia. I didn't have the money to have her treated, so I reached out to a rescue that generally has a good reputation in the area. And they agreed to take her on to treat her eye, with the stipulation that she was free of feline AIDS and feline leukemia. At the time, I didn't understand the truth about the 2 diseases. So my son and I took her on Monday to the vet and met the lady from the rescue. And the kitty came back positive for feline leukemia, and they insisted that she be put down. My son did some research later, and we found out that simply vaccinating your cats can make them positive for feline leukemia and feline AIDS. This kitty did not show any signs of illness. The only thing wrong with her was her eye. She was somebody's baby at one time. It also, in the research he did, indicated that most cats who contract feline leukemia especially can fight the disease and be healthy and live long, happy, healthy lives. Claudia could have been saved. She just needed her eye removed. So I've been on a roller coaster all week, knowing that that poor kitty could have been saved and could have had a happy home with my son. So why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you about these cats that are showing up at my house? And what does that have to do with the typical devotions that I give you on Thursdays? Well, in Genesis, God gave Adam charge over the earth. He put mankind, in charge of the earth. That included the land, it included the vegetation, it included the animals, both of the land, the sea, and the air. We are supposed to be caretakers of the earth. We are supposed to be the caretakers of the animals. So that's the first thing. We are supposed to be caretakers. And I see so much irresponsibility. And there's a lot of states that have declared domesticated cats an invasive species. And I don't think that's fair to them. because they didn't ask to be turned loose. We as humans domesticated them and made them a house pet and moved them around. And we as humans have the responsibility to control the pet population. We as humans make the choice to take in animals. And it is our responsibility to make sure that they are spayed and neutered so that we don't overpopulate. Whether it's a cat or a dog, it's our responsibility. They are doing what comes natural to them. And like I said, I'm not PETA, I'm not Bob Barker, that out here trying to force it down people's necks. But it's not fair to the animals. In Matthew 25, verses 31 to 45, it talks about, it's really a section about the judgment of the nations when Jesus returns. But it also, it talks about how whatever we do, we need to be doing it as if we're doing it unto the Lord. When we see someone suffering, when we see somebody needing clothes, when we see somebody needing food or water, when we see them have a need and we take time to fulfill that need, it's the same as doing it for the Lord. It's the same as if it were Jesus right there. Here's one of the babies. It's the same as if we were doing it to Jesus himself. And, everything that we do in life, we should remember that we're not doing it for ourselves. We're not doing it for another person. We're doing it for the Lord. When we give of our time, talents, and resources to those in need, and we do it with a heart of thanksgiving and gratitude, we are giving to the Lord. It doesn't matter what we do. We need to do it as if we are doing it for our Lord. It doesn't matter who the person is. If we are led to do something, we need to act on that leading. It doesn't matter who the recipient is. We need to act. If we are feeling led to do and we don't act on it, we have turned our backs on God. I've felt a leading in the past to do something, and I've thought, well, what if it's really not the Lord? Well, what if I'm wrong? What if the person rejects me? What if? And I talk myself out of doing instead of just stepping out in faith. And I miss my opportunity to bless somebody else, my opportunity to be a blessing and to be blessed in return. In Colossians 3:23, it says, and this is in the Amplified Bible, it says, whatever you do, whatever the task may be, work from the soul. That is, put your very best effort as something done for the Lord and not for men. And, sometimes that's pretty hard to do, especially like if it's at work. I remember when I was still working, I'd have a boss that maybe wasn't as easy to work for, and they might be asking me to do something, but maybe they weren't very kind in how they did it, how they would ask. They might be pretty rude and not the easiest personality to work with. But if I could change my attitude and say to myself, okay, I'm not doing it for Dawn, I'm doing it for Jesus, then it made it much more pleasant and much easier to do what I was being asked to do. And if we can do it as unto the Lord instead of as unto men, not only does it make the task easier, we're able to be a blessing to others, and we're able to receive a blessing in return, because we're no longer doing it out of a place of selfishness. We're doing it out of a place of blessing. And then from the Amplified, in regard to the animals, because we are called to be stewards of our animals and to be caretakers of them. The Amplified in Proverbs 12:10, it says, "A righteous man has kind regard for his animals, but even the compassion of the wicked is cruel." It's compassionate to make sure that your animals are spayed and neutered. When you're talking about cats and dogs, it's compassionate. It's not right, it's not fair to them to just turn them loose and let them roam. In some states, when it comes to cats, they've been declared invasive species, and it is legal and permissible. If you see a cat, whether it is truly a feral cat or not, they don't have to be a truly feral cat. Just if you feel like they're a nuisance to you, you can trap that cat and shoot it, or dispose of it in whatever manner you feel is right. That's not being kind, it's not being compassionate. And those animals don't choose to live this life. It's the life that's been determined for them out of irresponsibility on the part of a human. I will continue to do rescue when I'm able. I do have a link on my page for Amazon wishlist. I am not asking for help. I don't care if I ever get any help with the cats, but I do have a wish list, and I will put cat food on my wish list. If anybody is led to help out with cat food, it will be there. Like I said, I don't care if I ever get any help. I will continue to help these cats because I feel led to help them. And I will make sure through a program that we have here in Canyon County to make sure that they are spayed and neutered, and those that I'm able to find homes for, I will find homes for. Those that I can't, I will continue to make sure that there is food and water available for them. And they will live here outside my home as long as they can, because that's what I feel led to do. And I'm doing it as unto the Lord. This isn't a normal thought for Thursday, but I just urge you to be compassionate. I urge you to do everything as unto the Lord, regardless what it is. Even those tasks that seem mundane, doing the dishes for your family, it gets old. Doing the laundry gets pretty old. Mowing the lawn. Do it for the Lord. You'll be blessed. I'm sorry if this seems out of character. I'm sorry if this seems a little political. It's not meant to be. I wanted you to know a little bit more about who I am. I have a very tender heart, especially towards cats. No cat deserves to live this life. And this tender heart is a gift from God, and I will use it the way He has given me to use it. So I would wish you all a blessed week, and I do apologize for this video being out late. And I hope to see you here on Monday for Meet Monday, and again next Thursday. Love you all, and thank you for your support and your love. Be blessed.